Alright, so the run I was going to upload got blocked in every country. I was listening to the same album I did in a different video, albeit only one of the songs from the other video is also in this one, and it's What Does Your Soul Look Like? But here it cannot be seen or monetized because of the song, but here it's just fine. So, yeah, I don't know, just YouTube being dumb like usual. But anyway, I've been watching a lot of Tomato Anus. You're probably like, what the fuck did you just say? What are you watching? And it's this guy. It's not as weird as you think. He just does speedrunning content. He explains speedruns. He also runs a lot of Fallout games. Pretty cool. Check him out. But yeah, I'll just be doing sort of a similar thing, but less professional because that's how I am. But yeah, let's do it. So the category we're running here is no major glitches, which basically just means beat the game as fast as you can, any means necessary besides using item hovering and getting out of bounds. I'll touch on both of those briefly. Item hovering is a trick used a lot in any percent. There's an item called a force cube, or a power-up called a force cube. You can use it, you just place a cube anywhere basically. It's used a lot in this run, I'll explain when we get there. But if you take a physics object and put it below the force cube and like pull, grab it and pull it, it'll like push you upwards infinitely. And you can use it to basically fly around the map. And then there's also out of bounds, which there really isn't a whole lot of actual out of bounds in this game. It's pretty hard to get out there without the translocator, which is an object or a weapon you get at the end, or a tool. But yeah, a lot of the game design is very open. You're supposed to be able to get up on these rocks anywhere along the map basically, because there's objects out there, or items you can find. So it's intended, you're just not supposed to get out there as early as we do. But anyway, now we're in the sewers. This is like the tutorial of the game. There's not much here to talk about. We're just kind of walking forward, grabbing a couple coins because we need 12 coins for the 2x speed upgrade, which we want to get as quickly as possible, obviously, because it doubles our speed. There is a couple movement optimizations and such in this area. Like right here, if you go up this pipe the right angle, you'll just go straight up onto it. And then cutting a few corners. Very simple movement stuff, nothing crazy. So with chests, we want to stand on top of them when we open them because all the coins will instantly go to us instead of like scattering around. And that's faster, just obviously, because you don't have to go around collecting them, you get them all at once. Nothing much to talk about here, we're just going to a cutscene. And we just have to wait a little bit for it to teleport us out. Coming out of this, we're going to be doing a little bit of blind movement. We're going to be moving left and backwards. Grabbing the 2x speed upgrade as quick as possible, and then we just go start farming coins here for other power-ups. So during this farming section here in the beginning, we're going to be collecting a couple barrels. These barrels hold upgrades that we need to progress through the game, at least with the route we do. So here, normally, we're just skipping a puzzle here by just holding onto the barrel instead of like putting it on the launcher and like shooting it out. It's just quicker to hold onto it and just bring it up like that. So this barrel contains the force cube upgrade, which costs 20 coins. So we make sure we have enough coins to get it here, and then we're just going to go collect more coins to get more upgrades later on. So we need to make sure we have at least 24 coins before leaving this town because we need to buy the max coins upgrade. Because the next time we go out, we're going to be collecting more coins and getting another barrel so we can get the double jump upgrade. The double jump upgrade costs 36 coins, so we definitely need the coin upgrade before we leave, or else we can't buy it, obviously. Then afterwards, we're just going to be farming coins to get the last upgrade we need for the run, and that's the triple jump. So after this initial farming, we'll have all the upgrades we need to get just about anywhere in the game, with the exception of the end. And in order to beat the game, we need a couple objects. We need the red gun, the purple gun, the electric belt, and the green translocator gun. We'll be collecting those later. Right now we're just farming enough coins to get the double jump and the triple jump. So coming up here, you'll see me use the force cube. If you place it below your feet, it kind of shoots you over, and it gives you more height than a normal jump. It also can kill enemies and stop them. We use it in a couple areas here to speed up the platforming, like this gap coming up. Yeah, just like that. So you get more height from that than a normal jump. Right now we don't have, the upgrades we need, like the double jump and triple jump, so it helps a lot. So if you notice, we just passed a chest there. A lot of the chests contain upgrades we don't really need for the run. That one gives us coins when we kill enemies, and we don't really kill the enemies because it takes time. And also, those extra coins could end up screwing us in some parts. Not very likely, but it could happen. Other upgrades that we could get that just aren't really necessary are like health upgrades and damage upgrades. We don't really get into any fights, so those aren't really necessary either. Our low health pretty much isn't going to be an issue. The only place we can really die is here at the beginning, because there's like large groups of enemies that stack up while collecting coins, and they can clap your cheeks pretty quick. And also at the end of the game, there's enemies that do like enough damage to one-shot us. But we've gotten ways around that, and it's a lot easier now with newer routes. Get a little boost off the Queen's Head there, and we're going to take this launcher back so we can go get another upgrade. So coming up here, we're going to be getting our double jump upgrade. We place a cube beyond ourselves here because a lot of the times enemies stack up, and then that's where you'll die, is right here, because as you're crawling out that hole, they'll hit you a few times, then you come back past them right here again, they'll hit you more, and you just die. Luckily it didn't happen here, but we're going to be going and grabbing the double jump upgrade now. And we're going to be careful not to buy the upgrade behind it too on accident, which is why I take my time here. So coming up here, I'm attempting a force cube launch. I don't get it, but if I were to get it, I'd make it across this entire gap I'm trying to jump across. Instead, I have to go for this backup jump here where you land on the cliff and do another cube jump up. Force cube launches are very inconsistent because you have to place the cube on the very edge of an object so it tips, and then you have to also jump as it's tipping. It can be hard to set up precisely in a lot of areas, but they can be used to save time. They're just not used a whole lot because, like I said, they're inconsistent. So this is the last barrel we need to collect. That, along with these 3 coins below the hill here, will get us enough to buy the upgrade. And with these final upgrades, we'll have just enough to get anywhere we need to go, basically, for the rest of the route, and collect the rest of the required items. So now that we got all of our upgrades, we're gonna go get the red gun. The red gun isn't necessary to get the purple thing, or the purple gun, but it is necessary for the belt and the end of the game. So we're just gonna get it now because it's on the way. We're going to be doing a death warp coming up, so we're going to make sure to collect a specific checkpoint here at the top of the rocks to save us time later. You see it pop up in the bottom right there, and we're going to be doing some jumps to get up here and over this rock. We're taking this way for a few reasons. One being it's just faster, it allows us to do the death warp, and it also skips a lot of platforming. And two, if we go through the area down to our right that we're normally supposed to go through, we collect the checkpoint, and that ends up not allowing us to properly death warp back, because if we do it from there, we won't be able to get back out the way we came in because of the way the levels are set up. So yeah, here we are at the top. I'll make sure to grab 2 coins specifically for something coming up. When you do a death warp, you end up looking the same way you were when you died. So I'm going to be looking in specific spots so I can just move the right ways when I load back in. So like right now I can move, and I'm going to be moving forward and right and then forward. I'm going down here to collect an upgrade. I need to have enough coins to buy the belt later on, and then do another death warp, and hold W, and just keep going the way I need to go. So there's like slanted parts of like the geometry, like this rock here, and if you're looking the right way, and you're pressing the right keys, you'll gain speed off of it. And we use that in a couple places in the run. Right now we're just heading towards the purple area. So right now we're going to the purple area to get the purple gun. Normally you need the float buckle to get in there, which allows you to like float up next to metal objects like the door there. But we're just gonna skip that because getting that takes time. We can get it quicker later on by like sequence breaking the game and getting it in Blueville, which is the area to my right that you can't get into now because there's invisible walls. And not only is there invisible walls, but there's no reason to go there right now because we need the purple gun to beat the game. And in order to get the belt, it costs 120 coins from in there, and we can get 120 coins super quickly in there, so that's what we do. So coming up, we have the first instance of cube climbing, which basically just means we use the cube to refresh our jumps. So normally you can only jump 3 times, but you use the cube and then you can jump another 3 times. If the cube's not in a stable position, you usually won't get your jumps back, so you have to kind of do it in specific ways to where you can stand on the cube long enough to get your jumps back and not slide, because if the cube's tilted, you'll slide off of it and you won't get your jumps back. So we have to make sure we place it in certain ways and like jump at certain times and like intervals to make sure we're standing on it for long enough to get our jumps back. And we're just going to be using that for this whole section basically. A lot of these are a lot harder than they look, and they can be pretty tricky to perform consistently, but this is like the first time I've ever done the section that well. I only made like the one mistake on the first climb. So now we're just going to travel along the top of these rocks to skip a couple sections here and go straight to where we get the purple thing. Normally we have to go through a lot of areas, fight a boss, do this, do that. We're just skipping all of it. A lot of the areas up here are pretty slidey though, like right here you'll slide off, so you gotta be careful not to use up all your jumps or you can end up screwing yourself over. You can also like kind of bunny hop like a Source game, like if you jump the same frame you hit the ground you get to keep your speed. The issue with that is when you scroll wheel you jump all three of your jumps at the same time, which doesn't give you the same amount of height as if you space your jumps out. So it can end up screwing you over. Here we're doing this as a big slide. This saves a little chunk of time because we just keep our speed and jump across this gap. I think I get a Bop there, yeah, but as you see I didn't get to jump any more than that because I used all three of my jumps up at the exact same time. So yeah, if I could manage to do that with the spacebar and hit the one frame, I'd be able to keep the speed a lot longer because I could just jump 2 more times with the same speed going forward. But now we're down in the purple area where we get the purple gun. So this purple gun upgrade allows us to attach these purple beams to objects, specifically wooden objects right now. We'll get an upgrade later on that allows us to do it with gold, but right now it's just wood. So we're using it to just do some creative platforming here like this, skip a little section, and we can also use it to pull ourselves to the same beams we make, like that. So like I said, we're just abusing it to get through ways we're not supposed to be able to get through. Like right here, we're using this to get up here and then just jump over the door instead of doing the puzzle. And then we're going to go ahead and go grab this key immediately so we can open a door and use that to do even more broken stuff. So we're going to use this key to open a door. I'll explain why in a second. You can shoot the key to launch it over there. And if you do it right, it opens the door. We hit that button there to spawn the cube in this crate, or this area. Normally you have to do a puzzle to get all this out, but if you go above it and pull it up to you, you can pull it through the pipe for whatever reason. Normally we'd have to do like a puzzle or something where you have to connect a force beam between 2 really slow moving platforms. Like they move like the speed of a goddamn snail. It takes forever. But we just pull it through the top here and we're going to use the door and the cube to make a bridge. So we're going to shoot the cube up here into a specific spot and then make a bridge between them. And then we just use this to skip an entire section of the game called Carrot Town. So this whole cube route thing was something I came up with because when I first started playing this game a week ago, the old route included us going to a different section of the game to get a super ball, which is a ball you can use to launch yourself forward, upwards. It's used for a lot of things in the speedrun. And we're actually going to be getting one right after this section. But yeah, this whole cube thing, instead of doing the super ball, like it took us like 5 minutes to go get that ball. So it was a big time saver just to cut it out and do it this way. So we're going to jump down here to get our ball. Depending on the angle you're looking and the angle of the ground, you'll get like a different launch. So learning like how to do it in certain spots can be kind of weird. Sometimes it just works really well and sometimes it just doesn't. This whole area heading back to where we need to go, which is Blueville. We're going to head there to get the float buckle. So we're just going to do a bunch of these boosts on the way back. Instead of doing more boosts to make it all the way back, we're just going to go up here and hit this button to activate the launch pad. That'll bring us back to right where we need to go anyway, which saves a good chunk of time. So we're coming to Blueville to get 2 essential items. The first one is the float buckle, and the second one is the item upgrade for this gun that allows the beam to not only attach to wood, but to gold as well. We need both of those to complete the game. We need to make sure we don't fall here, because if we fall, then the guy's going to take our items, and that basically just means it's run over. We're going to do a super ball launch over this wall, and then we're going to buy 1 item from the shop here. This shop's supposed to have all the items that we were supposed to collect at this point, except for that gold module, which is what you're supposed to use to get through this area casually. But instead, we're just going to buy that, go collect 120 coins, come back, get the float buckle, and get out of here. We're going to do our first successful force cube launch here. If you do it right, you can make it over this wall. If you don't, you can. There's a backup strap, but that's a lot faster doing it that way. We're going to go here and collect 120 coins from this room. This is where they're supposed to be keeping our money that they took from us, but there's also just 120 coins in here regardless. So we're just gonna grab those real quick and use the force beam to pull ourselves and gain a bit of momentum out. There's really not a whole lot to talk about at this point. It's just a lot of minor stuff as we're leaving the town here to go get the float buckle. So I'll just run through the lore of the game real quick. Which you shouldn't be worried about spoilers if you're watching a speedrun, and if you are, then you should maybe get your head checked. So at the start of the game, the tutorial, you know, at the end of it, you see like the blue guys smacking the red water pipe. You know, they're trying to start some shit. And throughout the game, there's just a whole bunch of like race war shit going on. Like the blues are like, ah, fuck the reds, and the reds are like, I hate those blues, I really do. And yeah, so there's all that nonsense going on. So we go to the Blue King to go, you know, say what's up, and we get there and we ask him, we're like, why'd you fuck up our water pipe? You know, trying to drink out here and shit. And he's like, well, you stole my girl. So you find out the Red Queen was with the Blue King a long time ago, so he got mad about it and started a race war. Makes sense, right? So like he'd been starting all this propaganda about the Reds because he got his heart broke, and then the blue people just got mad, or I don't know, they just did some gang shit and took some action. It went and fucked up the water supply, and then they're like, oh well, it should be good now, it's fixed or something, and then we go to investigate further, and that leads us where we are now. So all that nonsense aside, we're doing some more nonsense, doing these Super Ball launches to get around quicker, and getting up to places we shouldn't be, at least not right now. And we're gonna go over here and get this key, and this key here will open this door down here. Yeah, it opens this door, and then we talk to this guy. He gives us another key. That's our cousin, apparently. He's a little shithead, but he's also down there. Two of them. He exists twice. But here we get the green gun. And this here gun allows us to teleport to wherever the ball is. So we're going to collect 2 upgrades real quick, and then we're basically good to go for the rest of the game. We need those upgrades in order to get out of bounds, but we need it to skip a section, basically. Because right now the gun doesn't shoot very far, and we need it to shoot further and faster in order to do what we need to do. But we have all the necessary tools at this point. We just need to get to the end. So here's the first upgrade. We're going to teleport over to the ball. And then the next upgrade's in this next place here. So we gotta wait for that ball to roll in there. We gotta make sure we hug around the left side here, else I actually don't know why, but I was told to hug the left side, so I'm hugging the left side. We hit a checkpoint, and then we go back to the main menu, and we come back in the save. If we don't do this, and we burn that door down, there's like 20 guys back there, and they're gonna fuck us up. Half of them can kill us in like one shot, so you'll literally be sitting there stuck dying over and over again repeatedly if you don't pull this sort of strat off with this kind of health. Because if you remember from earlier, like right after you die, you get movement again, so you can't see anything, but they can still see you, and they'll just keep hitting you, and you can't really do anything about it. You'll just repeatedly die over and over. But we get the upgrade, we come in here to activate that door up there. Unfortunately, my ball went into an area where I couldn't teleport to, so I couldn't just teleport back over there. But we're just gonna head out of here pretty quickly. And after this, we'll have the next big skip. So now that we have both upgrades for the gun, we can shoot it a lot further and like teleport a lot quicker, like it recharges faster. So we can use that to shoot it multiple times up in the air like this from a certain spot on top of the cube to get enough height to get out of this area and head straight over to where the boss is. Also, as you probably noticed, I'm shooting the ball and just teleporting to it a bunch because it's faster. The ball goes in front of you, you teleport to it, you're that bit closer. Pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, here we are at the boss arena. Boss is more or less a puzzle. He can shoot at you and kill you, which unfortunately happens here, but we gotta make sure we shoot these 2 fireballs to these 2 spots. The first fireball burns down this thing so we can go in here and grab the cube, and the second one turns the painter gun to orange so we can paint the boss orange. Then we gotta come over here and paint this cube, or not paint it, we need to get it wet so it conducts electricity. And here he fucked me up. So we have to spawn back, and then I teleported to my ball. Good thing I placed it down, because if I didn't, I would have got fucked. But usually you place it there anyway, because you bring the cube, or the sponge over, and then you teleport back after you place the sponge. So you place the sponge here, you teleport back, and then we do a couple things here. We paint the ball yellow, so we can activate this switch. Run over here and shoot the next one, and put it in here. This will activate the electricity, that's what it does. And then you place a cube in there to activate the launch pad. Now, somehow my cube, like, it worked because I saw the launch pad on there, but it didn't work. It fell off somehow. So I ended up messing that up later on. But here we're waiting for him to fart on us, so we turn green. Because we need to be green to activate the paint gun. So there we go, we're green now. And we gotta connect these two things to give enough power to the paint gun. And we go up here and activate the thing because we're green. He gets painted, we teleport back. And like I said, I didn't notice that my the pad was off. So I come over here. You gotta collect the flies, because in this story the flies eat carrots. And they like purple things, so you can like attract them to purple objects, and they eat orange objects. And then I was dumb and thought I needed the power instead of the cube, and I was like, what the fuck? So I placed the cube again, I had to go back and get the flies. And I realized they're over here anyway, so I just went back, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the whole run. Hopefully, YouTube doesn't shaft me anymore, or the Universal Music Group, whoever's fault it is that I have to record commentary for this instead of just letting it run. This took 239 takes actually. But yeah, if you liked it, like it, subscribe, whatever. You know, maybe I'll do more shit like this. Who knows?